All right, let's get right into it. Have you ever really stopped to think about what your desk is saying about you? Seriously, from an HR perspective, every single thing on it, the piled up papers, the family photo, even how clean it is, it's all a clue. So today, we're going to put on our HR detective hats and figure out what your workspace is telling the world about who you are.
So, let me just ask you this straight up. If your desk could talk, what story would it tell? Imagine it giving your performance review. What would it say about your creativity, your reliability, or even where you're headed in the company? It's a wild thought, right? But the evidence suggests your desk might actually be more honest than you are.
And that is the absolute key here. See, your resume, that shows the person you're trying to be. But your desk, well, it shows who you actually are day in and day out. It's this unfiltered peek into your mind and your habits. And today, we're going to decode it.
First up, the one everyone has an opinion on, the creative mess. You know the one. Papers everywhere, coffee mugs, a galaxy of sticky notes. It's the kind of desk that can make a manager just a little bit nervous, but should it?
The common assumption is pretty straightforward, right? A messy desk must mean a messy mind. Lazy, disorganized, we've all heard it. But honestly, the science tells a completely different story.
So get this. Researchers at the University of Minnesota, led by a psychologist named Kathleen Vose, found that people working in these messy spaces were way more creative. They were much more likely to come up with new, unconventional ideas. So that organized chaos, it might not be chaos at all. It could just be the sign of a brilliant mind hard at work.
So if we're looking at this from an HR point of view, this person isn't lazy. They're a potential innovator. They're the ones who break the rules and find new ways of doing things. And get this, another study found that people actually see folks with messy desks as warmer and more dynamic. So no, it's not disorganization. It's a brain that's just moving too fast to file everything away.
Okay, so let's flip the script and go to the complete other end of the spectrum, the profile of the conscientious clean. We're talking spotless, minimalist, perfect. What clues does this pristine setup give us?
Well, psychologically, a desk like this basically screams conscientiousness. Now, that's one of the big 5 personality traits, and in the workplace, it's a really big deal. It tells you a lot about what kind of employee you're dealing with.
The HR profile here, we're talking discipline, reliability. This is the person you can always count on to be on top of the details and totally in control. They love order. But there's a flip side. That same Minnesota study showed that these super tidy environments can also make people a little more conventional, maybe even a bit risk-averse. They're amazing at following the plan, but they might not be the one to invent a whole new one.
So you can really see the trade-off, can't you? On one side, you've got the creative mess dweller who's all about breaking convention and embracing new ideas. And on the other, the tidy worker who sticks to the plan and gives you rock-solid reliability. Neither one is better, you know. It just depends entirely on what the job needs.
All right, let's move on to our third profile. This one isn't about messiness at all. It's about meaning. We're talking about the desk with the personal anchors. You know, the photos, the plants, the little souvenirs from vacation.
Now, these items might just look like decorations, but psychologically they are doing some serious heavy lifting. They're like anchors, grounding an employee in who they are and connecting their work life to their personal life. And that's a really healthy thing.
Research from the Journal of Environmental Psychology is super clear about this. When companies let employees personalize their space, it actually reduces burnout and massively boosts job satisfaction. From an HR perspective, these employees are often really agreeable, warm, collaborative, great team players. They feel like they belong. They're not just renting a desk, they're investing in the culture.
And now, we come to a profile that can be a huge red flag for any manager. And listen, this is different from a clean desk. This is the bare desk. No personality, no investment, nothing. Just the absolute bare minimum.
Psychologists usually point to 2 main explanations here, and honestly, they're both pretty alarming. First, the person might lack what's called psychological safety. They just don't feel like they belong, so they don't dare put their mark on the space. The second, they're already mentally checked out. They're not investing in the space because, well, they're probably not planning on staying. A bare desk can be the very first sign that someone's about to quit.
So finally, let's look at the desk where, let's be honest, most of us probably sit, the mixed desk. It's got a little bit of everything we've been talking about.
And the key thing to understand here is that this isn't a sign of indecision. It's a sign of adaptability. You've got a little bit of organized chaos when you're on a deadline, maybe a family photo for motivation, but a generally tidy surface. This kind of balance is often the hallmark of a high performer. They're not too rigid, they're not too chaotic. They're just effective.
So you might be thinking, okay, this is fun, but is it real? Well, yeah, there's an actual psychological principle that makes your desk such a powerful personality test.
It's called a behavior trace, and it's basically all the unintentional little physical clues we leave behind. The empty coffee mugs, the worn-out mouse pad, even the kind of pen you use. And because these things just build up over time without us thinking about it, they give this incredibly accurate window into our true personality. And that, right there, is the ultimate takeaway. You spend hours crafting your resume and practicing your interview answers, but you didn't consciously plan to have 3 half-empty water bottles on your desk, right? Or that little stack of books in the corner. Those things just happened. And that's precisely why they reveal so much.
So, I'll just leave you with this one last thought. Go on, take a look at your own desk right now. Forget about the person you think you are or the employee you're trying so hard to be. Based on the cold, hard evidence sitting right in front of you, who does your desk say you really are?